Yo, what's going on, guys? How are we doing today? Today's video, I want to go and talk about my favorite plug-and-play tanks in Galaxy of Heroes. So, I have created a list of 10 of them, so let's go and show it off. So right here, we have 10 of them. Let's go over some of these and why I feel like they are the best plug-and-play tanks in the game. And as I was, creating this list and these 10 guys, I was thinking about ones that get more usage just outside of their direct faction. And I feel like every one of these people can do that in some way, shape, or form. So there's not really like a 1 through 10 of like 1 being the best, 10 being the worst here. It's just about 10 I feel like are some of the best in the game. So first things first is my guy General Kenobi. So this is a pretty no-brainer one. This guy, you can unlock him with the tank raid, and you get him pretty early on in the game, playing as you just play along. So he has this awesome unique, which is Sarisu, which pretty much means whenever he is, or another ally is critically hit, they gain critical hit immunity, and he taunts for a turn. And then also, if you have a full-on Galactic Republic, he taunts whenever they lose protection up. But really, in plug-and-play uses, you're not going to be wanting to use him in a full GR team. You can actually use him in a lot of other teams in the game. So he's a great one there. He's like almost always taunting. He can get some more cleanses off here. And his mass assist, as long as they have a buff, they are going to be called into assist, which is amazing here. And it just is such a great thing to have in the game. And especially later down the line, when you unlock him and you get a lot more of these GLs unlocked, you can be a little bit more flexible with him. He's a bit more plug and play. So he's a great one. General Kenobi is a great one. Next up here is Crew. I was going to say his full name, which I still will. Kylo Ren Mask. He's a great tank. He's got a fantastic Zeta here. It says he gains taunt at the start of the encounter, and he has double counter chance while he's taunting. So right there, the Zeta grants him a pre-taunt. So really in these 10 characters, anybody who has a pre-taunt is almost always going to be a very great plug-and-play character, very great plug-and-play tank in the game. So right there off the bat, with the Zeta, he has that pre-taunt. So I remember using this guy way back in the day when Darth Revens and Malix were out, and I was using him underneath a JKR lead, a Jedi Revan lead with, GMY, even Ezra, and Jedi Knight Anakin as well. A lot of other Jedi, and he was the 5th being the tank in the pre-taunt, which is really fun. So there's like a good use there with him. You can also use him in just some other GL teams, some Kylos, some First Order, but there's definitely some really great uses with him outside of those First Order teams and those factions. He's going to be used in a lot of other spots. You can definitely use him in really any case, as long as you need that pre-taunt there. I think he's going to be doing a lot of great things for you. So next up here is L337. So for L3, this one's a very straightforward one in my opinion. This one is, again, for the pre-taunt. I'm trying to figure out where it exactly is for the pre-taunt. I feel like it's on this one. Whenever it says, no, right here. When L3 becomes prepared, she gains taunt, and then it says at the start of each encounter, she gains prepared. So in a sense, she does gain a pre-taunt. So for this one's great because not only does she have a pre-taunt, but I think some of the other unique rather is that whenever another droid or scoundrel ally takes damage, she gains some TM, and then it says whenever she takes damage from an attack, she dispels debuffs from a random scoundrel, random debuff scoundrel ally. I cannot talk or read right now. Oh my gosh. So basically right there, you have a pre-taunt, and then if she is a plug-and-play character, then she has no other scoundrel allies. Well, guess what? She'll be cleansing off her own debuffs, which is amazing. There's a lot of great uses here with L3. Right now, my favorite use for her is underneath my Vader in killing some Darth Revens and making that counter just a lot more easier. She can get off some more cleanses on herself and just easier banners down the line. It's a great one to have. I could not recommend her enough. She's probably like one of the best pre-taunts in the game. If not, she is. Next up is Sith Empire Trooper. Again, guess what he has? He has a pre-taunt again. So it says here he gains defense up and taunt for 2 turns at the start of each encounter, which is a 2-turn taunt, which is a little bit more powerful than the other ones. So he's got that. So you can really use him in a lot of different ways. You can use him with the Sith Empire, with the GL Emperor, or I guess we can use him with some other teams. I remember using him with some like if I'm working on like some Resistance or even some of my JKR teams earlier in the day as I was playing, he was like a nice little pre-taunt. Him and Shorttrooper are both kind of the same in my opinion with where you can use them, but the difference is their factions and their tags. I feel like he does a little bit more in a lot of different ways with the Sith, but you can also, if you need to, you can use him underneath other teams and other factions as well. So next up here is Zabar. Zabar is not a pre-taunt, but in a sense, under the right team and the right team comp, he can be a pre-taunt. So, for example, on, I think it's this one right here, whenever another ally falls below 100% health, he gains taunt and the retribution for 2 turns. So, in a sense, he can gain a pre-taunt, especially if you like to using him underneath the GL Ray, because GL Ray is so fast. She's a GL, right? She can use her lifeblood onto the Zabar, and then guess what? Zabar taunts because of that while he has lifeblood. So, it's a good one as well. Also, I've gotten a lot of uses out of him in other past GA rounds, using him with some other scoundrels, using him with just some other wacky team comps, because guess what? You can use him either with him in mission or just him as himself as a solo, like a 5th taunt there. He's a great guy to have there. So he's got that pre-taunt, almost a pre-taunt. But also his other unique is whenever he is taking damage from an attack, he gains 20% defense stacking until the end of the turn, right? So just more defense while he has that taunt up, which is really, really strong. So I love Zabar. He's a great one. I kind of wish I had him with relics, but I don't. Next up here, the next 5 I want to go over here is some other ones. These ones maybe are a bit more lower in terms of where you are in the game. You're maybe not as high GP as I am, but these ones are great. So let's start here with GBA. GBA is not a tank, but he is a support. However, he brings in a pre-taunt, which is a tank. So in a sense, he is a taunt. He is a pre-taunt, right? So very simple here. Not much to go over. GBA with the Brute. So great. So fantastic. You have that there. You can bring in him again more than just once. And you have a little cleanse here. And also you have a nice dispel. So a lot of great things here. You can use him underneath some other teams like we've been going over. I could give you some ideas, but really if you are just looking for a 5th that has a taunt, then just look for these guys in this video for today. You know, I can use him and I can talk about where I'd use him in a lot of different stuff. Usually I think about GL counters with like a Vader. So he's a great one there as well. Next up here is Darth Maul. So Darth Maul does not have a pre-taunt, but he gains taunt very frequently throughout the battle. This guy is probably one of the most plug-and-play characters in the game, in my opinion. So if you guys don't know how Malik works, it's on this unique is whenever he gains shock or fear, or whenever he is inflicting that, he gains a taunt. And also, whenever he is critically hit, or whenever somebody applies a damage over time effect, he also inflicts fear, which rather gives him the taunt back, which is amazing. So he's always going to be taunting here, and he's just super annoying with his drain lives and his torture, which is his dispel. So I've used him in a lot of different GAs with my Padme team, with some Darth Revens, with some CLSs even. A lot of different stuff you can use him here with, guys. He is so, so strong. Darth Maul is Darth Maul. What else is there to say? Next up here is Nightsister Zombie. This one's not as plug-and-play as I'd hoped to, but she is still definitely plug-and-play. So you can use her with just the Nightsisters as a whole, and she gains her pre-taunt. But if you're thinking about using her, I don't think you would want to use her just as a solo character as that pre-taunt. I feel like you have to have another second Nightsister to go and tag along with her, which is in most cases going to be the old Daka. So the old Daka plus zombie combo is a very, very strong combo in a lot of different GAC teams. My favorite one right now is with my Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, having him with Hux and also with the Sith Trooper, and then the other 4th and 5th being Zombie and also Daka. It's a great team, very plug-and-play character, but I feel like she's only plug-and-play if you have like a Daka with her, because that way you have even more revives and you have more chances to gain the taunt back. So it's a great, great character here, especially if you have her with relics, which I do recommend, especially for the challenge to Rancor. Next up here is Shorttrip, a very simple one as well. This guy has a unique, pretty much says he gains a taunt at the start of each encounter, which is a great one. And plus, even with lower gear, you have a lot of extra protection added up. I could say this about really any tank out there that is that has a taunt. They're going to have a very high base protection, but I feel like for him especially, he has a very high base protection pool. So he has a pre-taunt here, but also he gains taunt back whenever he uses his special. So just a lot of other chances to gain his taunt back. and you can use him in really any team out there. I've used him in a lot of different stuff with my Darth Revan teams, but I, at the moment, don't really use him because of his gear. But if I had a higher gear on my Shorttrooper, I would use him probably with some more Empire teams on the offensive. He's a great one to use, though. You can use him in a lot of different teams, guys. And then last but not least is one of my favorites, because this guy has been able to be used in probably from the beginning of the game until the end of the game in some way, as long as you have him with the right modding and the right gear. And this video is not really about modding. It's really just about their uses. So, not old Ben, gosh. Stormtrooper Han, his uses, he is not a pre-taunt, but his taunt is very, very, very underrated. So, on his draw fire taunt, which is for 4 turns, I know, it's a long cooldown for a taunt, but he has a taunt for 3 turns. But the biggest part, I feel like, to this is that while he is taunting with his special, not only do other allies gain 30% turn meter, but also they gain 20% whenever he is getting hit. So that TM train is going to be going crazy, guys. So crazy. You guys kind of watch out for people who can dispel a taunt, but that kind of goes to say for anybody who can taunt in the game, because dispels are very, very important if you have a taunter, for like this instance, Stormtrooper Han. But there are a lot of different uses with him, especially in the early game of Galaxy of Heroes, because you can unlock him very easily through the arena store, the arena shipments, and even the Cantina ones here. So just super strong, guys. He is a rebel. He's a scoundrel, so you have even more uses there. But also, I've been using him in, earlier in the game as I was playing, years ago. I was able to use him as his own leadership, or even under some other wackier teams, like maybe some more bounty hunter teams as well. So very, very great taunt, especially on his special, and just a lot more TM gain for the rest of your allies and your teammates. So that's probably about it, guys. There is 10 different plug-and-play characters, rather tanks in the game. I feel like are some of the best. If I'm missing out on any of them, guys, let me know down below in the comments. That's probably about it, though, guys. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, share it around, and sub if you guys have not subbed yet. That's it for me today. Until next time, I will say peace out and have a good one. See you guys.